there's a growing that has to happen for couple. And so there are times where you, the man, are not satisfied. Talk about it. Why is it that we can talk about every other thing as married people? Why can't we talk about this? I'm not satisfied. Okay, what is it?
What can I do better?
What can I do better?
Hey family, welcome to another episode of the Young Christian and Married podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Benjamin. And today we'll be talking about a very sensitive topic, something that many Christian couples and even non-believing couples don't like to talk about openly. So we're going to deal with it today, and that topic is sex in godly marriages. Okay, before you blush off or start doing what kind of topic is this one, what are we talking about, let's just establish that sex is God's idea in marriage, and we are going to really delve into that and make us understand better how it should be in our marriages. And to help me unpack this episode, I have a very respected guest, someone I respect so much, and is a leader over me, and is someone that I value his opinions a lot. And like we do here, we allow our guests to introduce themselves. So we can never do best introducing them. So we allow them to introduce themselves. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Dennis Onyini. I'm a pastor in Substitute Church.
Okay. Sir, we are just gonna start. Just go straight into it. What is God's design for sex?
Okay. God's design for sex is first procreation, and for fellowship, oneness. Basically, every other thing is addition, but basically procreation, pleasure, for fellowship. Yeah.
Okay. And the thing about sex is that we have diverse understanding when it comes to sex, and it's the reason why couples are worried about talking about it openly, even when they have struggles, even when they have challenges when it comes to this thing. But talking about it, even talking to someone close about it, it's always a problem for them. So it's the reason why we are discussing this. And you've told us that God's design for sex is for procreation, is to build oneness. Okay, and that is the major thing that God talked about. So now, how can couples communicate better about their sexual needs?
Okay, and like you define, marriage is first God's idea. Sex is God's idea. Sex. Like some people don't like to hear the word, so they hear the word. When they hear the word sex, they cringe. Oh, he's talking about sex. So there's nothing special, about. There's nothing sacred as such. Once you're dealing with God, everything about God is sacred. Sex is sacred. Of course, I want to assume that I'm talking to believers.
Yes.
So that's not an issue you can talk to just everybody about or just anybody about, and which is the reason why you should be a member of a local church. Your pastor, yes. Your parents. There's no way I'll talk about this and not talk about my marriage and talk about my upbringing also.
Yes.
I can't recall any time my mother and my dad talked to me about sex. I started reading books. I think my first book I read on sex was Love Making in Primary 6 by Tim LaHaye, The Act of Love Making. Why did I read it? I don't know, just curiosity. But I learned in those years that, okay, so this is what this thing means. So why is it difficult sometimes for married people Again, I'm talking to Christians.
Yes,
So if
exactly.
you are not a Christian, I'm not talking to you. Yes, so sorry to say that. But for Christians, because for a very long time, the church has shied away from this. Sex is clean. Sex is beautiful. Of course, within the confines of marriage, it's a beautiful experience. So, which is why I think for a church like ours, it's part of our curriculum. Once you say, I like this lady, the lady says, I like the guy, you want to be married. I have been opportune to take, some of the classes in premarital classes. This is one of the issues we talk about because previous generation, for whatever reason they had, they shied away from it. But in this recent generation, my 15-year-old child has an iPad, has an iPhone. If you don't tell him about this, he's going to find out his own way. And whatever he finds out, whatever he now try to do naturally will be naturally wrong. So I do not, for couples who are having that challenge, come talk about it. Thank God for a podcast like this.
Yeah.
This also shows that, okay, we can talk about it. So if you are in the place where you are not able to talk about it right now, it's like some people not being able to talk about money. I've seen married people say, we never discussed money. Now you're going to face challenge because you never talked about it. For somebody who've had that experience before getting married, brother, you guys, you need to talk about it. You just need to talk about it because now the expectations are different. I married as a virgin. I married my wife as a virgin. So I remember my first night, I was in Morningstar Christian Center. I like to mention this. The first night I was waiting for one thing I see on movie where the lady is screaming, the guy like, oosh, oosh, oosh. I didn't get no oosh, oosh, oosh. So immediately after, I thought this stuff is going to last for 1 hour. I'm just going to grind this babe. Like, less than 5 minutes, the whole show was over. I called Pastor Vera. Pastor, I'm the team when I wait for all these years with this. I can't forget. She laughed and laughed. Of course, that day was a Saturday. On Sunday, I was in church and she mocked me publicly. Like, so, well, what were you expecting? I said, but they will squeeze the man. But again, I'm just simply saying this, that it's something to be, don't shy away from. It's an integral part of the human existence. It's an integral part of the human life. Sex is an integral part. When you got to assuming you never watched any movie, when you get to that place where you have to sleep with your wife, who told you have to shake your waist? Nobody's told you. That's to tell you it's an integral part of human existence.
Yes.
So that I don't overflog it.
Thank you, sir. I like the part where we pointed out that most of the time we don't talk about sex enough. And it affects us when we're married because we didn't get somebody that told us something about it. So our expectations kind of run wild, and then we are not able to contain it when the time comes. It gives us an opportunity.
In fact, sorry, I'm cutting in. I have a 15-year-old child, a son, and he's very intelligent. So recently something happened, and I've been talking to him about spirit, soul, and body. But when the issue happened, that gave me an opportunity to now say, it's time that I really need to bring this guy in. There's something we do in my home. We call it family meeting. I have where me and my 2 boys, we get naked. My wife is not allowed in that room. And we discuss. My purpose for that, the reason why I had to start introducing that in, because I know this part. I've been a pastor for a while, and I've seen this issue that you're having with your husband is about sex. She said, no. I say, this thing is about sex. And she's like, no. It's when the guy now comes in and, okay, what's the matter? They will dilly, there and there. Finally, they'll get here. So what I started doing with my boys is we have that family meeting where we just sit down. Everybody, no pants on. In my bedroom, we'll sit down. I start talking to them, you see. God gave you a penis for a reason. It's not one of those. God does everything he does with purpose in mind. There is a purpose for this particular organ, just like there's a purpose for your biological heart. That organ has a part, but right now you cannot use this one until you can use your nose to breathe. If you don't want to use your nose, you're going to die. But you see, I used to call it Winnie. My wife said, no, call it penis. The child won't die. We call it penis in our house. I'm saying this because the challenge people face in their marriage stem from their home. Yes. So I don't I struggled, but because I started reading early, it was not a difficult conversation to have with my wife, But I with these children, I'm talking already. Oh no, this thing is called penis, and they use it for this. And because when they started treating reproductive system, he said that this. I said yes, this is vagina and this is penis. Of course, now my wife is more careful because we move around the house naked, so they know. Okay, that one is vagina, this one is penis. This one gets into this one, but there's a time where that thing is correct in the sight of God. Any outside marriage, if you use this thing, it's illegal. They know. Of course, we don't want to put Nigeria. Nigeria has laws, but there's no enforcement. But with God, sorry, there's enforcement too. The enforcement, you may not. When he said the day you eat of this food shall surely die, the guy actually died that day. But we saw the effect of his spiritual death, separation from God, culminating into the physical death that man has inherited till date. Just want to put this out there.
Thank you very much. That was very expository. So we have one struggle that we face, Christian couples face, where couples love each other, but they struggle with dissatisfaction, sexual dissatisfaction, even if there is love. So it's a concept that can be funny. Let me use the word funny. I love you, but I'm not satisfied. Is that possible?
It happens. We can't deny it. Like I told you, I got married as a virgin. Not every guy. I remember talking in the program where I said I got married as a virgin. Some of the guys said, "I beg, bros, I beg. We're not going to put you under the microscope for not getting married as a virgin." But the person who wasn't a virgin when he came into marriage, he has maybe the Cecilia that was his girlfriend was whoever she is and did all the styles. There are styles. Again, the styles are not limited. Of course, when I was 15, I watched blue film, pornography. I watched it. And I didn't like what I saw. It was dirty as far as I was concerned. But there was a sense of pleasure, like, okay. What I saw there, I cannot even ask my wife. No. That thing is not possible in real life. That one was experimental. As a science person, there are certain things that are only for lab. If you bring them into real life, somebody will die. Somebody will die. So why is there such a thing? I want to speak to that question in two ways. One, if your partner have had that experience before, during courting, and which is why I quickly say this, see, if you're a Christian that you are, Christian single, brother and sister, don't run away from the system that is in your church to help you. Because like in Salt City Church, we will teach you. I remember having this class, they're like, oh no. Okay, how many times? I remember asking this question, one of the ones I handled. So how many times do you want it? The guy and the people who want to get married, the lady said, if I can get it every other day, I don't mind. The guy said, nah, food. He's already telling you now, like, if I can have it the other day, every other day, why not? So if you now get there, before we got there, I already told you that, excuse me, I don't try this before, and I like what I saw. The way Joshua did me. You're not Joshua, you're not Gabriel. But Joshua did me something that I had not been able to recover from. So now that we're here, I'm not going to look at you as Joshua. But that's one side. Again, there's no... forgive me, some people say, why are you talking about yourself? I can't talk about these things. I can't talk about relationship without talking about me and my wife. Because we got married as virgins, till they will be married for 15, 16 years running now. We have the thing. I don't know. I don't have the knowledge of, this style. For a guy, once the guy ejaculates, the show is over. He's snoring. So there's that part of knowing that your wife is like a clay pot. It doesn't get hot quickly. It gets cold. It doesn't get cold instantly. It gets hot with time. It also gets cold with time. So if you want to, we've read, I think I think most time, again, it's just a thought. I mean, I could be wrong. I think most time we guys, husband, are not patient enough. I would say I'm also guilty because I know that there's a sex called duty sex. Not all the sex are pleasurable. It's not every day we'll come and we're kissing, we're touching. No. All I want to do is just get in there. Sharp, excuse me. I'll just play. I'm not interested. Open your leg, just get in. But there are other days where there's kissing, there's the foreplay, they call it.
Yeah.
But it's not every time. Maybe in a month, foreplay, the one that comes with foreplay, that there's a lot of kissing, and the young man downstairs is screaming, hey, what about me? What about me? I'm just participating. Am I not supposed to be in this action? All the hand, the lip, and all that, the tongue in the vagina, and the licking of the penis and all that going on. You say, oh, Christians, excuse me, sex is sex. Sex is sex. So all that going on, and the guy just want to penetrate. No. I remember that we had a meeting that PT put up a meeting for us when we were still at a 90 Airport Road. There was an expert from Lagos who had a Zoom meeting, and he spoke about some of these things, and said, look, just do you know when you eat, you actually get satisfied when you slowly eat. When you rush the food, no, there's no satisfaction in that one. You're actually belaboring your system. But when you eat, watch anybody who takes his time to eat. Watch their personality. They are calm people. But watch the rest who the food is just there and goes blah, 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 blah. They carry that thing into sex. As they carry that thing into marriage. And they just want to penetrate, and then you leave the woman hanging. So the second part is, okay, if this is a challenge, what do we do? Come. There was a church that did not talk about it. There is a church now that is willing, ever ready to say, okay, this is where you are. There are Christian books. There are Christian authors. Before now, because the church shied away, there were no Christian. Dr. Dobson writes a lot about, he's a pediatrician. He writes a lot about Tim LaHaye. There's this Ghana guy. He's from Ghana. I've forgotten his name. I have some of his books at home. It talks about the thing. It talks about sex. It talks, okay, this is how to handle this. Come, there are materials right now that we can now talk about. Okay, this is your challenge. Sexual challenge can be resolved just as financial challenge, health challenge, and everything is resolvable. But again, I don't want to, if you are the man who is marrying to someone who was a prostitute, was, not is. This lady was a prostitute. Now she's now a Christian. There will still be some deposit in the past. Because once you trigger that part, the way she shakes her waist, she's revolving like 460 per second. Before you pound once, she has gone 5. Like, okay, excuse me, Lord. This is strange. But in that case, there's a growing that has to happen for a couple. And so there are times where you, the man, are not satisfied. Talk about it. Why is it that we can talk about every other thing as married people? Why can't we talk about this? I'm not satisfied. Okay, what is it?
What can I do better?
What can I do better? If you're not asking, I know the lady is dead now. I don't want to call them, go a public space. I know these two people very well. I know the lady, but she's dead now. The guy never wants penetration. He says, no, bring your mouth. It's your mouth I'll put this thing. That's not how God made it.
Yes.
That's not how he gave the woman vagina for a purpose. It's not her mouth. So the guy was, no. They were married. It's okay. This is your penis in my mouth. How are we going to conceive? The guy wasn't willing. That's the reason the lady left the marriage. So when extreme situations like this, you need to call your pastor quickly. You need to cry out. I'm not saying go on this generation where everybody is on Facebook. No, don't go there. You have a church. That's why I started by saying, if you are a Christian, be in a local church. If you are not in a local church, Jesus can't help. God the Father can't help you because God works through his local church. That's why he gave us Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 and 12. He gave some to be apostle and listed all that ministry offices. Those gifts are there. Those men as gifts are there to help. Submit yourself to the help. And There's no challenge you face, whether sex or whatever. The answer is in the house of God.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. I want to bring it home a little bit. You know, you said some things that were very striking, and I am really grateful for that. Sex as a duty, sex as a delight. You know, we are supposed to see it as a delight because it's pleasurable, it's
Very,
enjoyable,
very,
it's a sweet thing.
sweet.
It's
Very
a
sweet.
very sweet thing.
Very sweet.
But then we have cases where it is seen as a duty. For example, I'll give a quick story. When we got married, we had a little challenge for childbirth, just for a period of time. And there were some times where doctors prescribe will give you a calendar to follow. And it got to a point, I even felt that way also, that this thing is now becoming an obligation. Because whether I feel like or not, I have to do it. And when I'm doing it when I don't feel like, it's a problem. And then there's also this other part where because of this dissatisfaction, so to speak, and we have this advice that we are giving during relationships, seminars and marriage courses that you can't deny the man or the woman is of him or her due benevolence when it comes to that. So nobody really understands what it is to take it at every given time as a delight. I had to get to an understanding where I say, this is my wife. I have to enjoy my wife. Whether it's not a matter of if I want it. I should always want it. I should find joy with my wife. So people don't get that. It can come from a place of dissatisfaction, it can come from a place of a struggle in a marriage. But what advice do you have for couples to help them see sex as a delight and not a duty?
Okay, we can't run away from the fact that there is sex as duty. We must establish those two facts. There's also the pleasurable sex. Sex, whether as duty, let me explain when I say sex as the duty. In sex as duty, the woman will tell you she did not enjoy it because the man just want to penetrate, ejaculate, and the show is over. In sex as the pleasurable one, like I explained, that's where all the foreplay. I know sometimes now, like my wife will say, I'm not wet. What is about this penetration? Sister, don't worry, I get the wet. I'm bringing the wet here. Because again, we've experienced these things. Yes, you know, sometimes there's the tendency to want to run to a book. But our lives are open books that we're reading on the go. Yes, sir. I've experienced where I just watched a movie and the movie was so touching, or maybe after burial, you know, you're just thinking of life. This life is so brief. And your wife is dressed in one very sweet thing. It's your wife we're talking about, not a girlfriend. It's your wife. Then she's busy. She does not even, that's not in her mind. She's busy in the kitchen trying to just all your eyes are looking, you're not seeing any part of her body. It's just her waist, that circle, like something will happen to you. And she now mistakenly raise up whatever is under. Excuse me. Can you come to the bedroom? I just want to show you something. You know, as easy as what I just described, not many Christians are, some Christians are too dogmatic. They are too, I don't know what to call it. They are not happy about their Christian life. They're never happy as humans. There's no, I spoke to a couple last week. The lady said, my husband not they play with me. Like, touch my breast. I said, the guy said, make I touch. He said, yes. I'm not saying sleep with me. Touch my breast. Slap my ass. He said, And the guy's face was like, you are carnal. I said, excuse me.
It's not carnal.
What are you talking about? You should not be married to her. Because she's telling you, play with me. Play with my body. You're not playing. You just there like plyboard. Like one inanimate object. So, that, like the scenario you painted, if we are trying to give birth, trying to procreate, of course, it's when you're preparing for an exam, you can't sleep the way you like now. You say, this time I should be up. Even when your body is telling just one small second, say, no, I'm getting up. Put your leg down. That's how it is. But how do we help couples to do in a month? See, I have, there's an app on my phone. Sorry, let me just, so that I don't spoil it. Flow, that's the name of, see that thing. I know when my wife is in a period. I know when she's not in a period. I know ovulation. I don't want to give birth anymore. So I know I stay away from her. No matter how high. See, some people say, no, I cannot control this duty part of it. If this is a dirty example, if you were already arose, you want to sleep with a girl, and the girl say, well, okay, you can sleep, but I have HIV. I tell you, your penis would retract immediately, because that information tells you, this death sentence, you will go away.
It's true.
And so the same way, if I know, okay, this period, stay away from her. No matter how high, I just stay away. And we've had that conversation. I think there's a conversation that's not happening at home among couples. Growing up sucks sometimes. We are too now grown ups, and forget that in marriage, don't be a grown up, be children to one another, be friends. But there's a growing into these things, which I think that couples should give themselves some space. Allow yourself grow. And all the natural things we know about sex, they are naturally wrong. I like to put that out there. So the pleasurable sex, as it were, is an issue of, it's turned from conversation. Let's talk. See, my brother, if we are not already friends, let the woman be wet as sponge. She will not be happy. You will. Most men don't even know that they are dissatisfied, because most time, at the end of the day, there's ejaculation, but it leaves you hanging. If you are a married man, I don't know if these fellows in front of me are married, but there are days where when you leave the bed, it's like there's a spring on your leg. There's a joy that comes. It's not because you hit the G spot. No, there's something beautiful that has happened to you.
Yeah.
And so if it's not there, it shows that, excuse me, if I'm saying for the guy, he ejaculated. I don't want to even speak concerning the female, because I'm not a professor in this matter, but I'm just simply speaking as a pastor, saying that if there's dissatisfaction, how do you handle that? The handling it is conversation. The handling it is, let's get books. Thank God for internet. You don't have to go and buy the book. Just go on your system, type the problem. There'll be solutions. Of course, whatever solutions you see, you want to marry them with what is allowed in scripture.
All right. Thank you, sir. And this particular conversation, it's taught me, even as the host, something very, very crucial. There is duty sex, and duty sex can, even if in quotes it's a duty, because it's your wife, you can even gain satisfaction from it when you put your mind to it and you recognize where it is we are coming from. Sir, I'm just going to ask a very quick question, and then we move on from there. For sex in marriages and this satisfaction thing, we have situations whereby we've talked about communicating and having conversations about it. We have situations whereby there is a longing desire from one of the couple as to how it must be. I want to get, what about if the satisfaction, the ways to satisfaction is not aligning? This is it. This is the way I want it. I can't give it to you like that. You have to find a way to come and meet me where I am. Let's first.
For instance, again, I know I'm speaking to the world, but it's okay. My wife likes me to use my tongue down there. Brother, I'm not fit. I'm not Sabian. I don't want to learn it. In 15, 16 years of marriage, I've done it twice. She knows that, okay, I'm sorry, I made you do it. I said, I just did it so that you know that you made me do it. You enjoyed yourself, but I remember the last time I did, I told her, I'm not coming here again. I'm not having, it's not my thing. So I don't know if this speaks to that. Okay, yeah. So, but I had come to make her see that, see, I'm not able to do this. Not many ladies are crazy about sex like men.
Yes.
Not many of them. You just sit with her in the kitchen, for example. She's cooking, you are there with her, let's say her love language is gifts, or just being there for her, being there with her when she's cooking in the kitchen. See, that being there with her is more than sleeping with her every day for a week. She's so full and satisfied. She will go to work, smile. What did you do today? This is your lip gloss. I said, no, I'm okay. She's just glowing. Why? My husband was in the kitchen with me. And so at that point, how long it takes, or how strong the penis was now in penetration, she's just satisfied. Again, this does not remove the fact that nothing takes the place of lovemaking in marriage. Nothing takes that place. But I'm simply saying that it goes back to, let's talk. Okay, I cannot fit do this one. I'll fit do this one. Let's stick with what I can do. Because if you keep pushing to say, no, it has to be my way or boss. Now I'm the husband God gave you. I know Sabi, what you and Andrew had. Which I think by now, 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 17, if any man be in Christ is a new creature, whole thing. I should that experience should, if you carry that experience, because the truth of the matter is that, like I told you, when I 15 years old, when I watched porn, as young as I was, then I knew, if you do your wife like this, except you did smoke weed, or you're on cocaine, you put her leg like you hunger. Even if the girl's father mistakenly walking to you, he will take it out from you. You want to kill her. It will not work like this. No, the woman will not, any woman in her right senses will. We have a friend. There's this friend of ours who's now in Europe. Anytime the wife is just misbehaving, she say, I will hang you. So the wife was the one that described her. I said, I better not kill her, but begin a beg. You will kill her. He said, don't hang her, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So we'll take a break now. And we'll come back for the second segment of this discussion. Stay tuned with us. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Esther and this is my husband Benjamin. Welcome to Young Christian and Married Podcast.
All right, Young Christian and Married Podcast is a platform that deals with the young, the Christian, and the married. So we cover both relationships, both how we grow and get better in our Christian lives and our walk with God, and how we build successful marriages. That is what we cover. So you don't have to be just married to be part of the Young Christian and Married Podcast. If you're believing God for a partner, and also if you are looking to do better in your walk with God, this platform is for you. God bless you.
And please comment, subscribe, share, like, and press the notification button. So whenever we have a content to share, you are always the first to know. Thank you and bye.
Yeah, see you in the next episode.
Exactly.